This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Tuesday, June 27th, 2023, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will be visiting with Chris Hostetler. He is the Director of Animal Science with the National Pork Board. We will also take a check of the ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined now by Jacob Burks of agmarket.net for our closing market analysis. And Jacob, not a pretty day on the grains side of the markets today.
No, we took it on the chin here in all the grains, row crops, wheat market. It was a weather. This is a weather traded market. We come in here overnight. We see a little bit of rain added to the forecast. You go into the midday run. There's confirmation, I would say, of some rain in some pivotal areas. Most of it going through, anywhere from the Missouri, southern Iowa through central Illinois and Indiana. So, we've talked all day long here regarding why these moves are so drastic. I mean, I think that's the biggest question producers have right now is the moves just feel extremely drastic, and I think that's the case. I mean, you're seeing we're trading at a 550 to 650 level, and they're exemplified by the fear in the marketplace. And we shouldn't be overly surprised to see that the third week of June is a potential high for the corn market for the calendar year. But I do understand the emotions and everything around the fact that we're moving 20 and 30 cents at a pop up and down. So it's very erratic, and I think that we better be prepared for more of this in store.
Jacob, what is the best case scenario then for a producer, someone that's watching this in the day-to-day when there are such wild swings and changes? Is it to sit tight and maybe see more of a trend and not try to anticipate and act on each and everything that happens each day? Tell someone their livelihood's based on it, and don't be emotional about it. Good luck. And I think that's something that we do have to prepare ourselves for and have to have things in place. I always tell people, if you don't have an order, if you don't have something working, you probably don't have a plan. And I think that, we got to remember that back $5.60 when we were trading at $4.90, what would we have done if we could have, had $5.60? So we have to look at this from a profitability standpoint. You have to get back to, marketing for profit that we talk a lot about, but you have to look at, what tools are out there and what tools are available that can put you in that position. Now, at this level, what can a customer do? You need to make sure you have some of that marketing done. You need to know the tools that are in place. If you're scared that you're not going to have a crop and don't want to go through the crop insurance process, there's things out there that we can do to make sure that we're not, selling $5 corn. And also there's tools out there to make sure that if we sell everything here at $5.60, we're not missing out on the $7 run. And Jacob, as much as we are cautious right now and a little bit starting to be concerned about, especially those areas in the eastern Corn Belt where it is really, really dry, if we do get some timely rains, this could turn things around rather quickly because there's still a lot of the growing season to go, and in particular pollination and then that grain fill period where that rain would help out a lot.
Right. So you're saying that 1.5 inches that I got this weekend's not enough? Oh, man. And I think that's the case right now. And the forecast is telling us that, hey, there's some pivotal rain or timely rains that are planned. And so that's what the market's reacting off of. We've talked a lot about demand destruction whenever we were going higher. And so now we're pulling back, and this is the result of demand destruction and then a favorable forecast over it to say maybe our supply is not going to be that bad. So I think that your potential for continued volatility throughout the marketing year is still there. Absolutely. Because we're down 30 cents in the corn, 30 cents in the beans, 40 in the wheat, does not mean that we are done for and we're not going to see $6 again. We can still do that. It feels like the highs are in right now, but I can tell you, if we don't get that
pollination rain, or if we don't get those kernels to fill, then it's going to continue to add value in supply situations. Supply premium will come back into that market.
And so, Jacob, all that pressure on the grain complex today, how did that result? What did that mean for the livestock side of the markets today?
Well, we saw the low in the feeder cattle market the day we saw the high in the corn market. So there is a strong correlation, and feeder cattle are trading directly off of that feed, that corn situation. So there is a pretty good direct inverse. Gapped higher a couple of days ago, left an island bottom. You see another gap higher here today. With I think we touched $5 in the feeder cattle higher. We ended up closing $4.80 higher. So you're seeing these feedlots that are kind of a direct relationship of what they're going to have to input cost wise going into these feeders. So that's a big strong day up after we took too much off of them on the way as the corn market was going up. We took too much off the feeder cattle. Live cattle was still in a strong market. We saw that cattle on feed that put some numbers out there. We're still $1.60 to $2 higher here across the board in fat cattle. So we had a really, really strong day. And as you look out through there, we anticipate seeing these prices continue to either stay flat or maybe even drift a little bit, just because we have higher cattle going into the feed yard. We're in that the middle of the summer where you start to see some of that demand wane off. So you see our cold storage report showing that we have significant amounts of pork and chicken. I think record levels of chicken breast. So we have supplementary products there that are waiting to satisfy that demand. I think this is something that is a true testament for U.S. Domestic desire for beef. We've seen boxed beef stay in around that $3.30, for so long now that it's been actually $330 for so long for that boxed beef that it's really shown us that the demand is strong for what we have here domestically, which is awesome.
A lot to keep track of with the volatility, the ups and downs of the market in these last few days, and really as we've been in this weather market. Jacob Burks, thank you so much for helping us to stay on top of it. Jacob, what's the best way for our viewers to get in touch and to personalize their marketing plan?
Yeah, we'd encourage you to give us a call here. You can call me directly, 608-384-5438. But most importantly, just go to our website, agmarket.net, take a 30-day free trial of our Intel. That gets all of our information coming to you. We'd love to chat with you.
Jacob Burks of agmarket.net, our guest today. Jacob, thank you for the time and have a great day.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
And that was Jacob Burks of agmarket.net with our closing market analysis. Let's turn our attention now to the closing numbers, and those numbers courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. July corn is down 14 1/4 at $6.23 even. New crop December corn down 27 1/4 at $5.61 even. July soybeans down 26 even at $14.95 even. New crop November soybeans down 28 3/4 at $12.94 1/4. August soybean meal down $9.50 at $400 even. August soybean oil up 90 cents at $58.90. Chicago wheat down 39 1/4 at $6.99 even. Minneapolis wheat down 27 1/4 at $8.45 1/4. Kansas hard red wheat down 28 3/4 at $8.39 1/2. On the Merck, August live cattle up $1.90 at $172.50. August feeder cattle up $4.82 at $238.50. July lean hogs up 72 cents at $94.12. July pork cutout up 77 cents at $99.25. And Class 3 milk down a cent at $14.92. And that's been a check of the Ag Market Recap here on Ag Matters PM. It's time now to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, I will be joined by Chris Hostetler, the Director of Animal Science with the National Pork Board. This is AMPM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today, I visit with Chris Hostetler, the Director of Animal Science with the National Pork Board. That conversation took place recently at World Pork Expo. Mark Magnuson with the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I am joined today by Dr. Chris Hostetler. He is the Director of Animal Science with the National Pork Board, and we're at the World Pork Expo 2023. Chris, good to see you, and we're talking about a big topic that is across the world of agriculture. Of course, that extends to the pork industry, and that is sustainability. So Chris, let's start off with the basics because, we get deep into the weeds sometimes as we get into these topics, but when it comes to sustainability, we know that customers value sustainable products.
Absolutely.
What have you seen from your perspective of what customers really value when it comes to sustainability?
Yeah, absolutely. Both our international and our domestic customers for our pork product that our pork producers are generating, sustainability is important to them. And so, we at the National Pork Board are working on behalf of the pork producers to help them tell their sustainability story in ways that are that they've never been able to tell their story before.
And customers value that then because they're seeing how these pigs are being raised and what they're actually ending up with as an end product.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that customers purchase pork based on sustainability metrics around that pork. So we're helping producers generate those metrics.
And in your experience, do you find a difference then between those international and domestic consumers as far as what they're looking for, or is it just the overall process that they know that they are getting that sustainable product that they can come back to time and again, it's going to be a high value product?
Yeah, Mark, absolutely. We are striving to better understand our international customers. So one of the things that we've engaged with is we have engaged in launched a program to look at the sustainability of U.S. pork versus some of our competitors in the sustainability values of some of our competitors in the international market. And that'll help us gain insights into what those international customers are actually seeking in the sustainability space.
And Chris, then you are really well versed and able to talk about the actual side of how animals are being raised on farms and specifically pig livability. So what are some of the areas you're looking at when you're deciding, these are the strengths of our program right now, how we do things, and where are areas we can make improvements?
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2018, we launched a 5-year program, and that 5-year program was really to take a systems approach to understand the drivers of pig livability, and then to develop mitigation strategies in those areas where producers can do better in enhancing pig livability. And so it was across all phases of production. It was from the time a piglet is born until it leaves the farm, and just developing tools and educational materials and information around how producers can raise their pigs in a way that will enhance their ability to survive and reach market.
Where do you think producers have taken steps in that area in the last few years even?
Yeah, certainly. I think producers in the last few years have really focused in on growing and finishing survivability, enhancing growing and finishing survivability, and some of our production statistics would hold that out, that metric is being improved upon. And so they're focusing on structural soundness, feet and leg structure, and reducing lameness in those late-term growing and finishing pigs. So that'd be just one area, one example of where producers can and have been improving their pig livability.
Also, another side of sustainability that, obviously we're thinking about how the animals are being treated, what's best for them, but then also when you think about sustainability, it really does come down to a lot of times making your operation as efficient as possible. And then if you look at it from that perspective, you can find some ways to save some money. So what are some cost-saving measures maybe that farmers are able to see take place on their farm, but they're also getting that added benefit of the sustainable practices?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we've got currently in development is we're working with South Dakota State University to develop a feed system audit. And that would be from the time a feed ingredient comes into the feed mill and is converted into a complete feed and then is delivered to the pig farm and enters the feed pan where the pig consumes it. We think that there's roughly 7 to 12% of feed that is manufactured that never gets consumed by the pig, but is lost in various ways. Could be a cracked or leaky auger system. It could be that it gets delivered to the wrong feed bin and has to be removed. It could be feed spills. It could be maladjusted feeders where feed would be wasted and the pigs would scoop it out and push it down into the pits, right? So we're developing that audit system to really help identify those critical points where producers can reduce feed wastage and therefore improve their and save costs.
Is that audit system operational right now? Is it still in development?
Yep, we're still developing it, and we expect it probably by later this year. And so we're anxious to see what those results are. We think it's a slat level type of mitigation that our producers can engage in.
I would think producers are pretty excited about that. If you've talked to them, have they brought that up as something that they think could be a good idea?
Yeah, absolutely. And feed companies as well, right? And feed companies want to develop a feed that then is actually consumed by the pigs. They don't want to develop something that's wasted. And so that's one area where we can improve efficiencies. It's one area where we can improve the utilization of our feed. It's one area where producers can save costs.
And then Chris, when we're talking about just a brand new revenue stream, how about capturing methane gas off of lagoons? That's something that I've heard about for years, but I don't necessarily know how widespread it is. So could you tell us how widespread is that practice, and are more people adopting it?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. The ability to capture and convert methane into energy, that technology has been around for probably 40 years. And it's by and large, it's been used in the dairy industry, of course, because they have much more methane production than what pork does. But recently, developments in that technology have allowed us to begin to cover outside lagoons, capture the methane from those lagoons, run them through a methane digester, and then convert that to energy. And so one of the things that we've been successful in getting at the National Pork Board is a grant as part of the Climate Smart grants through the USDA, where we are providing technical and financial support to our producers to adopt that technology onto their farm, and then to be able to utilize that methane that they would capture from their lagoons as energy. It can either go to support the energy needs of their farm, and then any excess could then go into the natural gas system and be used by regular consumers.
Now, Chris, is that something where you have to build up quite a bit of capital to get that even in action on your farm, or is that something that is doable for the individual producer?
Yeah, so it's expensive, but that's why we applied for the grants, right? Is to help producers with the financial burden of putting those digesters, those methane capture technology in place on their farms.
And then when we talk about sustainability, being as efficient as possible, I mean, I think probably one of the older practices is the use of manure in multiple different ways, and that continues now today.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the initiatives that we currently have underway is our soil health initiative, and it's really to investigate how producers can better utilize the nutrients that are available in manure to replace synthetic fertilizer across a variety of different soil types in their fields, right? And so that would span across multiple regions of the country as well. And so I think we have 16 different states that are involved in that, and have research sites throughout those states looking at how we can better utilize swine manure to replace synthetic fertilizer to produce the crops that then go back into pigs, right?
That's right. And something that we haven't talked about yet today, but we know that is a great tool for producers, and that's the Pork Cares Farm Impact Reports. We've heard a lot about those, and I think we've heard a lot of positive feedback from those reports. Are you seeing farmers utilizing those more and more?
Yeah, absolutely. We continue to increase the volume of farms that are participating in those reports. We think they're being used in ways that are ingenious and perhaps even unexpected. For example, using them with their landlord to demonstrate the value of the pigs and the manure for their landlord. They're being used with lending companies to increase their capital and their line of credit. So there's a variety of ways that those reports are being used. We see producers, engaging in those and utilizing them to their benefit.
And you've got that hard data right there in your hands. You're able to hand it to them, and they can see it for themselves. Dr. Chris Hostetler speaking today, animal science expert with the National Pork Board. And Dr. Chris, is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers, our listeners know about when it comes to just the overall picture of sustainability, I guess as it also relates to them economically and how they can make some of these practices work for them?
Yeah, I always recommend that anybody that's interested in learning more about our research programs, our efforts, our initiatives that we have in place, that they go to porkcheckoff.org and they can find more information on any of these initiatives that we have underway.
Chris Hostetler, our guest today at World Pork Expo. Chris, thank you so much for the time and have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, Mark.
And that was Chris Hostetler, the Director of Animal Science with the National Pork Board. Let's turn our attention now to the ag weather outlook. It is a hazy day here in the state of Iowa. That haze has been sticking around really for the last few weeks now as the Canadian wildfires continue to drift some of that smoke south into the United States. So that is kind of the case throughout the state of Iowa today. As we look at tonight, it will be a chance for some scattered thunderstorm activity in certain isolated areas of the state of Iowa. And as we turn our attention to tomorrow, more widespread chances for thunderstorm activity and rain showers. So let's turn our attention now to the National Weather Service and what's in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, hazy with slight chances for showers and thunderstorms in western Iowa today. High temperatures ranging from 84 to 86. Tonight, partly cloudy, and then a chance for thunderstorms. Lows tonight expected in the 61 to 66 range. Tomorrow, chances for showers and thunderstorms and breezy. High temperatures expected 86 to 95. Taking a look now at our affiliate weather map for tomorrow. Cherokee, slight chance for thunderstorms, then sunny, with a high around 89. Shenandoah, a slight chance for thunderstorms and then sunny, high around 95. Des Moines, chance for thunderstorms and breezy, high around 91. Albia, partly cloudy with a chance for thunderstorms and breezy, and a high around 92. Waterloo, chance for thunderstorms and a high around 88. And Clinton, partly sunny on Wednesday with a high around 86. For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure and check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been a check of our Ag Weather Outlook. That also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find our video content and all of our previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the notification bell as well, as that will let you know whenever we have any new video content. And don't forget our free twice daily market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. For Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been AMPM.